again with Graced with Girls, and today I just wanted to share with you how I like to plan out our homeschool year. So the first thing I wanted to tell you is that we are not year-round homeschoolers. We like to stick to a pretty traditional school year calendar, so starting in August and typically trying to finish up in May. And there's a couple of reasons we do this. One is we just like to have a summer break. And so we like to do learning during the summer, just not curriculum during the summer. So if you want to see what we did this summer for learning, I will link our homeschool camp video up above. It was super fun and the girls really enjoyed it all summer. So the first thing you need to do when you're planning your homeschool year is to check your state requirements. Some states require a certain number of days or weeks of school, and so you definitely want to meet those requirements first. But after that, I like to look at our curriculum and see how many scheduled days of learning are built into our different curriculums that we use. So I will look at that and then I'll get out my calendar or my planner or whatever I'm using. I use something different almost every year, but the past 2 years I have used the Confessions of a Homeschooler Homeschool Lesson Plan Planner. The reason I like this is because it's printable, number one, so I can customize it. So it has all kinds of pages in it, all kinds of great homeschool planning pages, and I can just pick which ones I think I'll use and that I need for our homeschool year and print those ones out and put it in my planner. That way it's not full of a bunch of things I'm not really gonna use. So I've used this for the past couple of years and it has worked out really great. So the first thing I always put in my planner for planning homeschool is a year overview calendar. So this has all the months of the year, and on that I like to try to circle a start date that we're planning on starting and an ending date. So I'll just take the number of weeks that our curriculum is and count them down and see when we would finish if we did school all of these days. Then I like to take a highlighter and highlight our built-in breaks. So we have a Christmas break for 2 weeks. We usually take off 3 days at Thanksgiving. And then I always make sure I schedule in a week to 2 weeks of random days that we can take off because, you know, life happens. And so I don't want to get behind. And so we like to stick to that schedule as best that we can. I mean, we have a lot of leniency if someone isn't feeling good that day, or we have, you know, a trip that we're going on or whatever. We can kind of move days around and make up days and it's fine. But I like to have an idea of what we're doing for the year. Another thing that I planned this year that's a little bit different is that every 9 weeks I built in a catch-up day is what I'm calling it. So once every 9 weeks we'll have a day where if they're behind on any of their schoolwork for that 9 weeks, they can try to catch themselves up. But if they stay caught up, then when that day comes, they get a day off of school. So it'll be on a Friday and they'll get a 3-day weekend, which is kind of an incentive of them staying caught up. Now my little girls that I have to like teach every single subject, they don't typically get behind because I'm teaching them. But my oldest daughter is in 7th grade, so she does a lot of independent learning now, and sometimes she'll just get behind on something. Another thing I'm using this year to help my 7th grader to have a little bit more responsibility and to keep track of her own schoolwork is a desk calendar. So I got this really cute desk calendar at Walmart for $3, and it has all these little sticky notes on it that you can put on your calendar. And I told her that I really want her to keep up with her own schoolwork this year. I want her to know when she has tests, when she needs to study, when she needs to review for things and all of that. And so the way that I showed her how to do it is to put a little sticky note at the end of each week saying which lesson she should be on in every subject. And that way when she comes to Friday, if she isn't on those lessons, she can make it up over the weekend and make sure she stays on track week by week. So I just want her to take a little bit more responsibility, gain a little bit of independence for her schoolwork, and keep track of all of her things herself. So I'm really hoping that this is a great thing for her and that it really helps her to stay focused this year. Another thing I like to have in my planner is just a calendar for each month and then the notes section for each month. So I'll just write down important things in our calendar, or maybe days we're going to take off, or things that I know we want to do for school, and just this big month calendar. I also like to have a notes section for each month, And this is basically just so I can see where they need to be in their specific curriculums at the end of the month, and maybe some specific goals for that month that I may have for them. So that's just some notes that I take for every month, and that just kind of helps keep us on track. Another page I like to print out for my planner is the attendance page. So you just put their name, it has all the months and the days, and you just check mark on the days you do school. And if you have to miss for something or they have a sick day, then you can record that. I know some states require you to keep attendance logs, so this would be great for that. Mine doesn't, but I still like to make sure that we're keeping up with how many days we're doing school. So I like to check this off throughout the year. Another page I love to put in my planner is just a reading log page. And what I use this for is to keep track of the books we've read aloud as a family. So read aloud time is something we do along with our morning basket, and it's probably our most favorite part of our day. And I just like to keep a list of all the books we've read aloud for the year so we can look back and see what we've done for the whole year. So that's really fun, and I like to have a record of that. Another page that really isn't 100% necessary, but I think it's really cool, is the curriculum plan overview page. And so this one's really neat because it has the subject. So you write down the subject and then which curriculum you're using for that subject, how many lessons are in that, and then how many days a week you want your child to work on that subject. So, I mean, I probably wouldn't look at this a ton, but just at the beginning of the year, I love to have this just to get organized and see what we're working with and how many lessons each thing has. And so that's really nice, and I just find it really helpful. So then the last thing I really put in my planner is just a few pages of notes. So it has this built in with this planner. You can just print out as many note pages as you want and do whatever you want with them. I like to keep track of which days we're taking breaks, when our Ketchup days are going to be, how many sick days / field trip or just days we can take off. Then I also like to keep up with just maybe some goals we have for the year, goals for each student, and just goals as a family that I want to work on and learn this school year. So that just kind of keeps us focused throughout the year. Sometimes I'll look back and be like, oh, I forgot, I really wanted to work on that this year. And so that just helps me stay focused on what we're wanting to learn for the school year. So that's really all I have in my planner that I like to keep in there. If I put much more than that, it just doesn't get used and I don't tend to look at it as much. I like to keep it pretty basic and just have my basic plans for the year all laid out so I can try to stay on track for the year for me and the girls. And to me, that just works out great. And of course, as homeschoolers, we can go with the flow. If we have days we need off or days we don't feel well, we can take those days off. I just want to make sure we stay on track so that we're not doing school all summer long trying to get ready for the next school year. So I hope you liked seeing how I like to plan our homeschool year. And if you'd like to see videos like these, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.